Welcome to our Let Reviewer on Philosophies of Education, one of the foundational topics in the professional education component of the licensure examination for teachers. So, whether you're reviewing for the LET or simply deepening your understanding of what it means to teach with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's make this review meaningful, practical, and empowering. Let's begin.
If there's a topic that always on the board exam, it's philosophy of education. So for today's video, let's talk about philosophy of education. Let's start with essentialism. Your keyword is basic, right? But the question is, why is it basic? Let's explain. It's simple. There's a reason why there's a word essentialist or essential in essentialism. Because the focus of philosophy of essentialism is on things that are essential or important in a person's life. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're rich or poor, whatever you build in your life, you should have this because it's essential. It's important in your life. Philosophy of essentialism believes that whatever is essential or important in a person's life, it's all basic. That's why our keyword is back to basic. For example, the 3R. Basic 3R such as reading, writing, arithmetic. Question, should a person know how to read? Yes. Know how to count? Yes. Know how to write? Yes. Those are the basics. I just summed up everything I said. That's why there's a word essential in essentialism because the focus of the philosophy of essentialism is the things that are essential or important in a person's life. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're a rich or poor, whatever you build in life, you should have that because it's essential in your life. And what's the most essential to us? All of those are the basics. The next philosophy we're going to talk about is perennialism. This type believes that certain ideas are timeless, is for example, reading Shakespeare or Plato, because these works have universal lessons that stay relevant. This is an example of perennialism because it's all about timeless knowledge that applies to everyone, no matter the time period. Okay, the word perennial means unchanging and everlasting. So it means the focus of the philosophy of perennialism is on things that will never change forever, because things that will never change are permanent. For example, what is considered the world's most printed book? The answer is Bible. The Bible is the most widely used book in the history of the world. Question, was the Bible written back then? Yes. But now, are we still using it? Yes. And the next generations, are we still using them? Yes, it means effective back then, effective now, effective in the next generations. It means there is no change. It's a permanent perennialism. It's simple. Why doesn't it change? Because it's effective. Remember, if it's effective, let's not change it. It's a permanent perennialism. Do you get it? Okay, next question. Does the world change? Yes or no? Yes. Do we need to be with the changes? Yes. That's why there's a new philosophy. What is it? Progressivism. Progressivism, this one is simple. The difference between the two is in perennialism, it doesn't want to change anything because it's effective. But in progressivism, it really wants to change. Why? It's simple. The world changes. For us to be with the changes, we need to change as well. That's why we have progressivism. Aside from change, another keyword in progressivism is student-centered. This is the question about student-centered. Which of the following best describes a progressivist? Teacher? The answer to this question is I will make my students learn by doing. Less teacher talk, more student talk. Progressivism has a sibling. Who is his sibling? The pragmatism. They are siblings because they are the same as their father. Who is their proponent? John Dewey. What is the meaning of pragmatism? It's simple. The tagline is ideas are true if they work. You will believe that something is true if you make it work in a real life situation. Therefore, our keyword is skills. What is the definition of skills? Application of knowledge. What is the definition of knowledge? Knowledge is just when you acquire information. But in pragmatism, there is no value in knowledge if you don't use it in life. Knowledge should be applied in life because if you apply knowledge, that becomes skills. What is the definition of skills? Application of knowledge. Therefore, ideas are true if they work. From the word pragmatism, pragmatic, practical, there is no value if you don't use it in life. Get it? That's why our keyword is skills. Question: in a fast changing world, 21st century, what should a child have? The answer is 21st century skills. Next philosophy is, okay, let's skip for a moment. Next philosophy is existentialism. Question: your keyword in existentialism is choice. Choices? But why choices? I will explain it to you. It's like this so that it's easy to understand. Existentialist says that human life is like an alphabet. Human life starts with the letter B, which is birth. But human life ends with the letter D. What does D mean? Death. Question: what is in the middle of the letter B and the letter D? Our question is C. What does C mean? Choices. Whoever you are now, it has something to do with the multiple choices that you have created in your entire life. But existentialism has a deep meaning. The ultimate goal of life is to find your purpose in life. And how do you find your purpose in life? You have to make choices. Once you exist, you have purpose. And to arrive with your purpose, you have to make choice. You have to choose because you have freedom, will, democracy, human rights. So all of those are to satisfy your purpose in life. Okay, let's go back. Now, what is the difference between idealism and realism? It's simple. When we say idealism, just remember that the belief of idealism is where reality exists in the mind, while when we say realism, that is reality exists in the senses. For example, do you believe in God? Yes or no? Yes. But until you have an idea of the Almighty Creator in our minds, that is already good according to idealism. Next one, do you believe that you will be an LPT? Yes or no? Of course, yes, right? It hasn't happened yet, right? But because you have an idea that you have the capability to be an LPT, that is reality. That is idealism. Okay, next one is realism. Reality exists in the senses. How many senses do we have? Five. What are the five senses? Sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of taste, sense of touch, and sense of smell. That is an example. They believe that his voice is good if you listen to his voice first. That is sense of hearing. They believe that his food is delicious if you taste his food first. Sense of taste. That means that the belief of realism is reality exists in the senses. Just to recap, they are both believing to reality. The only difference is the source of the reality. If the source of reality exists in the mind, that is idealism. But the source of reality exists in the senses, or in the senses, that is realism. Okay, let's jump to behaviorism. It is focused on the behavior of the child. And the most important keyword in the behaviorism is environment, because they believe in behaviorism that we are products of our environment. But when we say environment in education, it is not just limited to nature. When we say environment in education, anything that surrounds you that become your environment. So it can be plants, it can be animals, it can be cars, it can be people, just anything that surrounds you that becomes your environment, because who we are today have something to do with the multiple personalities that are affecting our system and affecting our environment. But this is the question in the board exam. Whenever you see classroom management in the board exam, the answer is always behaviorism. The teacher believes that student learning is a result of the environment. If the learning environment is good, the classroom is good, the tables and the chairs are good, the PowerPoint is visible, and all of that can also affect the learning of the child. This is the usual question in the board exam. The teacher makes sure that the classroom is good before the students. This is called classroom management. Classroom management is based on behaviorism.
That's all we're going to talk about philosophy of education. We'll talk about other philosophies in the next video. Now that we've explored the core philosophies of education, it's time to put your understanding to the test. Let's move on to our question and answer, where you will get a chance to apply what you've learned into these practice questions. That's all we're going to talk about philosophy of education. We'll talk about other philosophies in the next video. Now that we've explored the core philosophies of education, it's time to put your understanding to the test. Let's move on to our question and answer, where you will get a chance to apply what you've learned into these practice
1. The
questions.
Philippine elementary school curriculum gives greater emphasis on the development of basic skills like reading, writing, and arithmetic. What is the philosophical basis for this? A. Pragmatism, B. Perennialism, C. Essentialism, or D. Existentialism. The answer is letter C, essentialism. Essentialism is an educational theory rooted in classical realism and idealism, which advocates curricular reform stressing the essentials of the basics like the 3 R's. 2. Teacher H asked one of her students, "What do you want to become when you grow up?" This question is an indication of what kind of philosophy. A. Progressivism, B. Naturalism, C. Existentialism, or D. Idealism. The answer is letter D, idealism. Idealism is the answer because it stresses the existence of ideas independent from the material world. Ideas that which exist in the mind are the only reality. Number 3. Teacher X has not only explained the concept of philosophy of education, but also imparted this to her students. This demonstrates what kind of philosophy: A. Naturalism, B. Idealism, C. Realism, or D. Perennialism. And the answer is letter C, realism. Realism concerns with what is real, actual. For ideas to be realized, they must be transferred or demonstrated. 4. In his class, Teacher M always presents principles and values so as to encourage his students to examine them and decide for themselves whether to accept them or not. What kind of philosophy does he practice? A. Idealism, B. Essentialism, C. Humanism, or D. Existentialism. Answer is letter D, existentialism. Existentialism is a philosophy that emphasizes subjectivity, freedom, and responsibility. Number 5. When a teacher emphasizes the man's sense should be trusted because they are the only way to acquire knowledge, the teacher can be regarded as A. Naturalist, B. Realist, C. Empiricist, or D. Pragmatist. The answer is letter C, empiricism. Empiricism upholds that the only source of knowledge is the senses and sense-based experience. 6. Teacher K views her pupils as unique, free-choosing, and responsible individuals. She plans activities where the pupil can develop his unique personality. What theory underlies this nature of the pupil? A. Realism, B. Essentialism, C. Existentialism, or D. Progressivism. The answer is letter C, existentialism. Existentialism is the philosophy of subjectivity of selfhood whose fundamental doctrine proclaims man's freedom in the accomplishment of his destiny. In this case, emphasis is given on the students rather than on the curriculum content. 7. Learning is the process of retrieving prior learning. This is a statement from A. Constructivist, B. Reconstructivist, C. Progressivist, or D. Empiricist. The answer is letter A, constructivist. Constructivism is a philosophy of learning which asserts the reality does not exist outside of the human conceptions. It is the individual and that construct reality by reflecting on his own experience and gives meaning to it. It is founded on the premise that by reflecting on our own experiences, we construct our own understanding of the world we live in. Therefore, learning is simply the process of adjusting our mental modes to accommodate new experiences. Number 8. Teacher Yu teaches to his pupils that pleasure is not the highest good. Teacher's teaching is against what philosophy? A. Realism, B. Hedonism, C. Epicureanism, or D. Empiricism. The answer is letter B, hedonism. Epicureanism is just a form of hedonism. Hedonism is a general, Epicureanism is the specific. Always select the general answer. Number 9. After listening the homily of the priest about fidelity, Catherine has a moment of reflection. Her understanding of the value of fidelity has become deeper as she related this to her past experience. This typifies what kind of philosophy? A. Constructivism, B. Reconstructivism, C. Humanism, D. Existentialism. The answer is letter A, constructivism. Constructivism is a philosophy of learning which asserts that reality does not exist outside the human conceptions. It is the individual who constructs reality by reflecting on his own experience and gives meaning to it. Number 10. After studying the principle of identity, Teacher W asked her students to determine which among the given set of problems conforms to the said identity. This shows that Teacher W upholds what kind of philosophy? A. Perennialism, B. Progressivism, C. Essentialism, D. Naturalism. The answer is letter B, progressivism. Progressivism is a philosophy of learning by doing things. 11. Thea listened to the advice given by her sister to end the relationship that she has with Gilbert. However, her sister learned that the advice she has given was not followed and Thea decided to continue the relationship. This action of Thea is a manifestation of what kind of philosophy? A. Essentialism, B. Existentialism, C. Perennialism, D. Humanism. The answer is letter B, existentialism. Existentialism is the philosophy of subjectivity of selfhood and proclaims man's freedom in the accomplishment of his destiny. Number 12. After finishing the degree in education, Teacher M learns that learning never stops. In fact, she accumulates more knowledge after leaving the portal of her alma mater. This typifies what kind of philosophy? A. Constructivism, B. Perennialism, C. Progressivism, D. Humanism. The answer is letter C, progressivism. Progressivism connotes change, growth, and development. It is an active form of philosophy it continues to evolve. 13. Matilda is an advocate of the principle making the most of your life. She is indeed an advocate of what kind of philosophy? A. Humanism, B. Perennialism, C. Realism, D. Existentialism. The answer is letter A, humanism. Humanism is a philosophy that stresses to live life to the fullest. Number 14. Teacher X is a very dedicated teacher in the nursery. Her foremost concern is for students to learn how to adapt themselves in the environment. This shows that Teacher X upholds what kind of philosophy? A. Naturalism, B. Pragmatism, C. Progressivism, and D. Rationalism. Answer is letter A, naturalism. Naturalism aims to unfold the child's potential, not to prepare him for a definite vocation or social position, but to prepare him to adapt to the changing times and needs. 15. Teacher J serves as an inspiration to his students because of his efficiency and effectiveness as a teacher. The mindset of his students towards him or her is an instance of what kind of philosophy? A. Realism, B. Idealism, C. Nationalism, D. Constructivism. The answer is letter B, idealism. Idealism is a philosophy which asserts that what's in the mind is the only reality. In this situation, the teacher inspires his or her students through the values that he or she possesses. Values are absolute, are told to belong in the realm of ideas. Hence, these are considered as ideas that exist only in the mind.
Number 16. The Department of Education gives greater emphasis on the development of basic skills. What is the philosophical basis for this? A. Essentialism, B. Existentialism, C. Perennialism, or D. Pragmatism? Number 17. Teacher M views his student as unique, free-choosing, and responsible individuals. All classrooms activities resolve around the said premise. What theory underlies this? A. Essentialism, B. Existentialism, C. Progressivism, or D. Realism? Number 18. Religious rituals in the classroom and the school programs prove the deep natural religiosity of the Filipinos. Which philosophy has greatly contributed to the tradition? A. Buddhism, B. Confucianism, C. Hinduism, or D. Islam? Number 19. In order to make Roman education truly utilitarian, how should the day-to-day lessons be taught? A. Taught in the student's native dialect, B. Taught interestingly through the playway method, C. Related and linked to the events happening in everyday life, or D. Practiced at home and under the guidance of their parents? Number 20. Virtue as one component in the teaching Rizal as a course focuses on the teaching of good and beauty consistent with the good and beauty in God. What philosophy supports this? A. Existentialism, B. Idealism, C. Progressivism, or D. Social Reconstructionism? Number 21. Scouting and Citizens Army Training, or CAT, give training in character building, citizenship training, and etc., which leads to the creation of a new social order and a new society eventually. What philosophy supports this? A. Existentialism, B. Perennialism, C. Progressivism, or D. Social Reconstructionism? Number 22. Teacher V demonstrated the technique on how to group students according to their needs and interest and how to use self-paced instructional materials. What philosophy is manifested in this activity? A. Essentialism, B. Progressivism, C. Realism, or D. Social Reconstructionism?
Which curricular move served to strengthen spiritual and ethical values? Letter A. Integration of creative thinking in all subjects. Letter B. Introduction of values education as a separate subject area. Letter C. Reducing the number of subject areas into skill subject. And lastly, letter D. Reintroducing science as a subject in grade 1. The answer is letter B. Introduction of values education as a separate subject area. Question 24. The greatest happiness lies in the contemplative use of mind, said Plato. Which of the following activities adheres to this? A. Cooperative learning. B. Introspection. Letter C. Role playing. And letter D. Social interaction. The answer is letter B. Introspection. Question 25. Your teacher is of the opinion that the world and everything in it are ever changing, and so teaches you the skill to cope with the changes, which in his governing philosophy. Letter A. Experimentalism. Letter B. Existentialism. Letter C. Idealism. Letter D. Realism. The answer is letter A. Experimentalism. Question 26. Teacher Myra says, if it is billiards that bring students out of the classroom, let us bring it into the classroom. Perhaps I can teach to use a mat. To which philosophy does Teacher Myra adhere to? Letter A. Essentialism. Letter B. Idealism. Letter C. Progressivism. Letter D. Reconstructionism. The answer is letter C. Progressivism. Question 27. Who among the following believes that learning requires discipline, attention, regular homework, and respect for legitimate authority? The answer is letter A. Essentialist. Question 28. With a death threat over his head, Teacher Liza is directed to pass an undeserving student. If she is hedonist, which of the following will she do? A. Don't pass him. Leave her principle of justice. She will get a reward, if not in this life, in the next. Letter B. Don't pass him. She surely will not like someone to give you a death threat in order to pass. Letter C. Pass the student. That will be of use to her, the student and his parents. And lastly, letter D. Pass the student. Why? The answer is letter D. Pass the student. Why suffer the threat? Question 29. Which philosophy approves of a teacher who lectures most of the time and requires his students to memorize the rules of grammar? Letter A. Existentialism. Letter B. Idealism. Letter C. Pragmatism. And letter D. Realism. The answer is letter B, idealism. And lastly, for the question 30. In a student conducted, the pupils were asked which nationality they would prefer if given a choice. The majority of the pupils wanted to be Americans. In this case, in which obligation relative to the states or schools seeming to be failing. Letter A, instill allegiance of to the constitutional authorities. Letter B, promote national pride. Letter C, promote obedience to the laws of the states. And letter D, respect for all duly constituted. The answer is letter B, promote national pride.